And here we go at it again, back on another Sunday, bringing y'all the vibes once again. This is Honcho and my guy,
Siriaco. They call
and
me
this is
Rocco.
Fourth and Fantasy. How are you doing today, Rocco?
Oh, I'm doing well. I'm here, ready for week 12.
It's kind of crazy to say we're already in week 12, ain't it? The NFL season's going by way too quickly, if you ask me.
The fantasy seasons are ready to move into the playoffs.
I'm ready to spank some
Hopefully.
ass. I'm ready to get some dubs, get some chips. I'm trying to get at least, you know, two, three, four championships this year. I'm at 42, so I better get that goddamn many. You know what I mean? But no, thank you all for tuning in again.
And the greatest thing about winning one, maybe two of the bigger money leagues is that'll pay for the rest of the leagues.
No, that's what I was telling somebody. Like those bigger money leagues, if you just got to win one and you're set for the rest of the fantasy team, you make your money back into them more. But we're bringing y'all the vibes again. And we want to do a quick shout out for all our wonderful Blue Sky followers out there that have been tapping in with us. And thank you all we're almost at 400. We're growing. We got a few new subscribers here on YouTube. Shout out to y'all. We got some new people in the Discord. We just love it, man. We love to see it from all avenues as we continue to grow. Thank you all for once again just tuning in with us, caring to get our input and interacting. Ain't that right, Rocco?
Yeah, thanks for supporting us, and please get those questions in. We can always derail the show if y'all comment and want to know some start sit questions. We're here for you right before kickoff.
Yep. And we're gonna be right off the stand before kickoff. I know I have a few lineups that I need to get going, but
Oh, we
we
we getting off 15 minutes before.
15. No, we're
Best
not.
believe.
No more, no less. But today's first topic is quite some news, and some of us might be effed. I know I'm one of those people. Brock Purdy is out today versus the Green Bay Packers, and Brandon Allen is in. Woo! Uh, it's it's this is the time of year where it's not good to be missing your starting quarterback, especially one of the caliber of Purdy. And on one of my teams, I actually this week, due to this injury, I have no starting quarterbacks. There's nobody that I can put in that quarterback position and start at this very moment. I'm sick. I'm torn. You have these people out here putting $99 of fab to grab Brandon Allen. What in the first off, before we go on a tangent, what in the hell are we doing? You over here spending $99 on a fab on Brandon Allen, putting
It,
me in a tough position.
it's the QB thirst. I mean, I just saw $1,000 bid out of $1,000 on Tommy DeVito.
Mhm.
People are losing Dak, people are losing Purdy, people are still in the hunt, and they're desperate. I actually had a team where I just totally went into rebuild mode when Purdy got hurt because I just didn't have a quarterback, and I didn't have any fab to replace him. So I immediately pivoted to a rebuild and put all of my older guys on the block.
Then in week 12, that's when Purdy getting hurt that was your final decision to say, "Oh yeah, I'm out. I'm done.
I'm
It's a wrap."
screwed. I mean, it's another shoulder issue. So like this could be a 1 week issue. This could put him down for the rest of the season. The team's not doing well. They can shut him down. I mean,
Mm. But they
this is
also did say that it could just be a 1 week thing. He just could be out this week and back.
bullshit. I remember what they said about CMC.
Oh yeah, that's true. You're very right. You're very right.
11 weeks later, we're finally getting CMC. We don't have 11 weeks to go in the regular season.
We do not, and that's the part of I don't know. I think I'm actually going to call it. I'm going to do something that you just did. I might call it quits in the league that I have Purdy, just because he's my only quarterback I have actually at this very moment. And I'm in the middle. I can squeak into the playoffs. I think the seventh ranked team or so. So I could squeak into there, but how far am I going to get? And I feel like I can just get a better draft position if I just call it quits at this point, which that is totally against my personality, my how I like to go about fantasy. I like to whoop ass, and when I'm not whooping ass, it's a sad day. So no, if you have Brock Purdy and you weren't able to grab Brandon Allen, once again, this goes back to one of the players that Rocco will keep beating the drum for, and you should have been trying to claim or try to trade for it. Taysom Hill. You should have been, trying to make those moves for a Jameis Winston, if you will. Those if your league doesn't have a trade deadline, those are the guys that you don't have to spend a big price tag on, and you can go get a QB3 if you need it.
The thing about it is the people with those quarterbacks will smell your desperation and they will squeeze you
Mm,
for everything they can get out of you at this
sounds
point.
about right. And I would do the goddamn same thing. When someone's trying to come get Jameis this week, he was like, "I don't have no QBs." I wanted to overpay. That's why when you need a QB, he went a different direction, and I'm happy for him because
I think I dealt with the same guy. I don't know if it was the same league, but I basically dealt with the same guy. He came for Matthew Stafford, who was my QB3, and I think he sent an offer of Tank Bigsby for Matthew Stafford. And I told him, look, me and you both in the top three. You are gonna have to overpay to get my insurance of Matthew Stafford because
hmm
if I trade my QB3 and one of my other quarterbacks get hurt, I'm gonna be in the same position as you. So you're gonna have to make me noticeably better to deal with to make
yeah,
it with you because you are my competition. I'm
yeah,
not gonna just give him away to you and help you, in your quest for a championship. No,
I
you're gonna have to give me a solid ass starter. Or you're gonna have to come off a first.
100% agree with you on that one because especially if you're my op, you the competition. You want me to help you? Come on, that don't even sound right. We both trying to go for the chip, baby.
If you
That
come
ain't
in,
going
you gotta overpay.
right. You're gonna have to overpay or get that thing going. It's not happening. So no, we here at Fourth and Fantasy believe in. Let me choose up my words correctly. Don't piss off your league mates. We don't. You always want someone in your back pocket because you never know when you're gonna need them. But don't be a sucker either. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing we say. Don't be a sucker. But
Do you
that's
feel that you have any faith in Brandon Allen this week? And what do you think it will be? Uh, what do you? How do you feel about the
mm,
49ers weapons with Brandon Allen in?
ass. But it's a stick. It's once again you got one of the better offensive minds in football in Kyle Shanahan, and if anybody can make this gel or work. I think they're heavily going to, lean on that running game and CMC, and then you got Mason, so they're going to be running the ball. And then if you have a one of the 49ers, receivers, whether it's Pearsall, whether it's Debo, Juwan Jennings, I believe George Kittle is back. I'm not seeing a big game from Brandon Allen to where those guys are going to have a big game. So if you're thinking about, hey, maybe you're looking for somebody to sit, maybe this is the week that you sit some of these 49ers offensive weapons. Now, damn if I say that and they fucking go off. I'm gonna be mad as hell. You know what I mean? But listen, what what I believe Brandon Allen has started maybe 8 games in the NFL. There's a reason why he's only started at 8 NFL games. Okay, so I'm not a huge believer for that offense right now.
I got some numbers here for you. In his
Hmm.
last start, which was in 2020, a long time
Mm-hmm.
ago, he completed 78% of his passes for 371 yards and 2 touchdowns for a passer rating of 126.5.
Hmm.
Um, maybe he has it in him for this game. I wouldn't trust him, in the long term, but
Well,
maybe
listen.
Kyle Shanahan can whip
Okay.
something up and,
Okay.
uh, and at least feed our passing weapons because we probably don't have too many options in this bye week. In
Especially when you're going against a Green Bay, team. They're 7-3. They're still rolling. Their defense is. Oh my goodness, Xavier McKinney is probably one of the best free agent signings this offseason, coming from the New York Giants and then signing with the Packers. He has been so good for that secondary. Man, it's going to be hard. And I know Jair Alexander's a little banged up, so you have a little hope there. And once again, you got Kyle Shanahan, who I still believe is one of the best minds, offensive minds in the NFL. So, like I said, if anybody can get this going, I believe it is him. But transitioning to our next topic, and this is somebody who I'm super happy to talk about because people wrote him off. They threw him in the gutter and didn't think nothing of him. But Mr. J.K. Dobbins, is he looking like the comeback player of the year? What do you think, Rocco?
I think he is. Interesting stat that I saw when kind of looking at some advanced statistical numbers is he's actually leading the league, you know, over Derrick Henry, over some big time names with 2.8 yards after contact. So, for a guy that's been injured most of his career, for a guy that we didn't even think he would, maybe ever amount to anything because of all the injuries he's had over his career, for him to, still be gaining yards after contact and being number one in that category, that's pretty significant. It's amazing, to modern science and his will to come back.
Yeah, see. I used to have J.K. Dobbins in one of my money leagues. Now I did turn him into Derrick Henry, which I then traded, which is hurting my feelings at the moment thinking about it. But I had J.K. Dobbins, and I should have kept him. I should have believed. I tried to trade it for him in my $75 league where we were just, he didn't. I was trying to give him I believe, a fourth or a third. He was just like, I don't want to give up. I feel like J.K. Dobbins is worth more than a third, but he don't. It was just a very gray area. He's like, I don't want to give him up for that less, and he balls out. But then he understood that I didn't want to give up a second, So we couldn't find that middle ground. But J.K. Dobbins has 152 rushes on the season. That is 15th in the NFL. He has 726, which is 11th in the NFL, and then he has eight TDs, which is sixth in the NFL. If you had asked me before the season if his lays were even, I'm just happy to see he's in the top 20 in carries. You know what I'm saying? He's been a very important part of that Chargers offense and what they've been able to do this year. And I'm super excited to see what he does for the rest of the year. And it makes me think, yes, has Joe Alt been a wonderful pick for the Chargers? Hell yeah. I think he has transformed that offensive line on the right side. But could you have imagined this offense? I love Lad McConkey, go dogs. You know how I feel about my boy. But could you imagine this offense with Malik Neighbors as your wide receiver going into the season with J.K. Dobbins doing his thing, Justin Herbert doing his thing? I think of the possibilities, the potential it could have been.
Yeah, but I feel like you have to kind of trust Coach Harbaugh at this point. The fact that he turned that team into a team that always finds ways to lose weekly,
Mhm.
and finds ways to miss the playoffs with an ace quarterback like Justin Herbert. I think we got to just kind of trust him, trust his process at this point,
Mhm.
and think it's very underrated to build the offensive line, and I think that's the first thing he wanted to do when he came in. I would, I advocated for Malik Neighbors to go there. I think it would have been really fun, but it's just not the type of team they're running right now. They're starting, from the inside out as far as the offense. Um, and Lan McConkey is pretty damn good in his own right. So
Hell
I
yeah.
still think they got a really good receiver. They've even gotten some uh, some production out of Quentin Johnson, who a lot of people thought was a bust. So they have enough receiving options, and they keep winning. So it's hard to question, at this point. But would I have loved to see Malik Neighbors getting the ball thrown from Justin Herbert? Yeah,
Man.
I think Malik Neighbors would probably be the number one wide receiver in the league as far as rookies go, and probably a top five overall wide receiver at this point. So it's it's
It would have fed families if you would have asked me. It would definitely have fed some a lot of good families, man. So go J.K. Dobbins. Do we think he's the comeback player of the year? I do. I don't think. I think right now it's kind of hard to beat. The man's coming back from three major surgeries. Most running backs is donezo after one. So just to see him growing and thriving, shout out to you, J.K.
and
What were you gonna
Achilles.
say?
A lot of guys never come back from that. So the fact that he's coming back so quickly from the Achilles injury is just it's just it's just makes you kind of go wow, like him. Cam Akers is still puttering around the league. Um,
Hmm.
Achilles used to be a career killer, and the fact that he's producing at this level, coming back from an Achilles injury, is just amazing at this point.
Hell yeah. So, now we will be moving on to our next topic, and today we're going to be going over one of my teams, one
Oh,
of my in one of my money leagues. And let me just say, before we even get on it, I show you the team, I show you my record. I purposely started to lose after week three. Okay, I gave up on the season after week three. I saw
when you
the.
say purposely lose, do you mean
I
you're not
okay. No,
starting
no,
your
I
lineup?
am. So to a degree, yes, but to a degree, no. I started shipping off players such as like ETN. Before people called on the ETN and he started stinking it up, I was able to sell ETN for a first round pick. And that first round pick is going to end up being the 102. Ain't that for ETN? At this very moment, nobody, you couldn't trade ETN even for a first right now. Okay, I saw
Bro,
ETN go for a second the other day. I haven't felt so damn good about. That's one of my favorite trades just to think about. All right, so but let me knock the yap and let me show y'all my team as we talk about team rebuilding for 2025. And this league is specifically a one QB. I know we still got love around, around Dynasty for the one QBs. I know everyone is moving over to, super flex, and that is the new modern flow. But I love me still a good one quarterback format. So let's see.
that makes one of us in this chat.
Right. Are y'all able to see my sleeper?
Can you blow it up just a hair? There we go. There we go. Okay, I can see now.
Bet. All right. So this is what we are working with. So I like most of a good, number of my money leagues. A quarterback that I was heavily pushing for was Baker Mayfield. If I wasn't getting, one of those top selections of quarterbacks in the first two rounds, a lot of startup drafts I did this year, I went and doubled at wide receiver those first two rounds. Now, mind you, It hasn't really paid off in this league, but mind you, also, like I said, I started to blow this up quite soon, quite early. If I if I can find it, there we go. Leagues, I am 0-11, and that's why I was telling y'all, do not let this record fool y'all. I could have won some of these games, but what is the purpose of me winning these games and screwing myself out of the 101? All right. So, like I was saying, I have Baker Mayfield as my quarterback, my one QB leading here. I believe, yes. I also had Dak. So, those were my two quarterbacks I went with for this one QB league, Dak Prescott and Baker Mayfield, which I think are a very good duo to
You're
have
good at
in
quarterback.
this. What do you think?
You're good at quarterback.
All right. So, running back was mind you, I told you I had ETN, so I ended up shipping off ETN. I have my boy Tracy because you know how we feel about my dude. Someone tried to
That's there.
someone tried to come and get Tracy a little earlier in the season. I said hell no. I got my boy Estime. We don't really care about Derek Vaughn. Uh,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Shout out to you. I still think you're gonna be if you ever went somewhere else, I think you could be serviceable, but with my Cowboys, you're just not doing it. I think that was all my running back options. I traded away my other guys, so that there was that. I feel good about my receivers. I got my boy CD. Once again, wherever I can get CD, I'm going to get him. DJ Moore, uh,
DJ Moore's having a down season, but I can
and
see
I
him.
blame, I blame that boy, and I blame that boy Caleb. But we're not going to get on that.
I
We
blame the Bears organization.
Oh, I do. Okay, let me flip my answer back. I blame it on them. There we go. I have Keenan Allen. This was
Keenan
before
Allen
Keenan.
is a trade if you can get anything for him at this point.
It was, and I got him. I This was before we did the draft. Before he got traded to the Bears. This is when he was still with the Chargers. So the vision I had was I got wide receiver one Keenan Allen with the Chargers, and not. I guess he's wide receiver two over there, but it's. I had different visions for him.
He's
Guys, I
wide
had
three there.
Tobert and Dotson, hell no. Shakir has been serviceable this year. I picked up Mechie because I still believe in him. He's shown glimpses of what he can be when he gets the opportunity. Uh, who cares about him at this point? I don't even feel like discussing, boy. I feel like he's just another guy on my roster. He's not bad, but go Butte. He's cool. I think that's other guys. You got Javon Baker, Flournoy, Malik Washington, Cowing, guys that I think could potentially make that jump in week two, or not week two, year two. Can see better results for them with better opportunities. Got my boy Penix as my backup development future quarterback whenever he takes over for Cousins. And that is it for my receivers. My tight ends, I feel really good about. I have Kyle Pitts, who I should. Oh, they have a bye week. I forgot. Yeah. And then I have Tucker Kraft, who has been a very underrated tight end this year. Love that guy. So that's my team. And we also have kickers in this league. So I got Dicker the kicker. uh, if we go and talk about picks, this is currently the 102. My pick is the 101. This pick is the 108. And then we have several others. Like this one's an early second, and these are mid to late seconds. And I have a third in there. So, looking at my team, looking at the picks I have. And once again, this is the 102, 101. I say this is the 108. Well, how would you go about fixing this team, my friend?
Um, is the trade deadline over with?
We have no trade deadline.
Okay, so one thing I may look for is possibly your problem is that Keenan Allen and DJ Moore haven't done much this year, so you're not going to get their 2023 value in a trade.
Mhm.
Uh, you really need the Bears to have maybe a good game or two. So I would maybe look to trade them off of a good game, or you can hold DJ Moore. I think the situation will improve by next year. They'll probably get a new coaching staff, maybe somebody that can feed the weapons that they do have and create a good offense for Caleb Williams to thrive in.
Brother,
Rico Dowdle,
I've been
Rico
trying to
Dowdle,
I've been trying to sell that boy DJ Moore. No one want to knock on the door. I've been trying to. I believe
it,
I have him on.
he's in a funny place because the people that have him are holding out,
Mm.
and the people that that want him are are
They don't want to put up that price to
people
give
that
him.
want to
Yeah,
trade him aren't getting what they want in return, and um, the people that want him aren't getting you know whatever. So
they're not getting their return of investment if you really. Like,
yeah, basically. So
and I traded for
um,
DJ Moore. I can't. I don't think it's going to show like what I. There we go. I gave up, which is kind of hurting me a little bit. For I traded
oh,
for DJ Moore, and I gave up Xavier Leggett, which I'm not really hurt about. But I also gave up Brian Thomas.
yeah, that's
Mhm.
those are the ones that hurt. The ones where you gave up possibly two assets. So it seems like you're not able to move him at this point. Um, are you able to move Dowdle to any running back needy teams?
That's a good question, and
If you get a second for him, that's pushing it. You may or may not. It just depends on how desperate people in your league are. I would I would be looking to find a new home for him because he's not going to be a starter come 2025 because not only is he not going to be a starter on the Cowboys, he's not going to be a starter on your team. So I would be looking to move him if possible. I think he's just kind of dead weight, and he's gonna produce enough to maybe put you in danger of winning a game. So
yeah,
um,
and
um,
to give you a
that
little bit of,
off your team.
to give you a little bit of context on the future of 2025 for this league, we are adding a. So right now we only have one QB, one starting running back position, which I'm going to be moving Tracy into in 2025. But we are going to be adding a flex spot.
Okay, so you're gonna need more starters. I like Estime. I think he's a good stash. He could wind up being the starter by the end of the season. Pitts, I like Pitts. You could do worse at tight end. Um, a lot of these other guys, if you can get anything for them, I would. Um, they're kind of in that weird spot. Dynasty players are a lot smarter uh,
Mm,
now than ever, so they'd rather just wait for you to cut a guy than give you something. Maybe you can get something for Shakir. There are Shakir fans.
mm.
I would be shooting for seconds. Um, but it looks like your strategy is going to fall all the way into the draft. You're going to have to rebuild this thing through the draft. So I feel like your first pick is going to be Ashton Genty. That's going to be
Oh,
everybody's
100%.
pick.
Yeah.
Uh, it's one QB, so there's no quarterback that's going to muddle the waters here. Um, the,
Mhm.
the interesting decision comes at two because you do need receivers. So I feel like your two should be Ted.
Yep. That's how.
Right?
Might as well. Those are the two. If you had the chance, like last year when people had the 101 and 102, they were picking the two in their minds, the two best prospects at the time, which were Caleb and then Marvin Harrison. Now I know when it gets closer to draft season, those picks get very valuable, very.
Mhm.
So in my head, I'm automatically going for right. So if we go up, my RB my RB position, and if I get my roster to how I'm thinking it's going to go in 2025, it'll probably be. I probably can't put that because you don't IR, right? No. So let me put this back.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, so it'll be Dak is my quarterback. Tracy here. Maybe it depends on where Genty goes. He'll be my starting running back here, but I like Tracy. Lamb, DJ Moore, Kyle Pitts. Try to move off from Dowdle. And that's where when it comes to I don't really have elite talent. I have a few little bits and pieces, but I think Genty can very come on, like you said, Genty can come on my roster and be a
Mhm.
instant impact player. And then right with that 102, it's gonna be like, all right, if someone's really coming, if they want to move up, what kind of package are they trying to get? And I'm looking for a haul because if I can get Tet at 102 to pair along with CD Lamb to pair along with DJ Moore, I feel really good. And then I still got one more first round pick, and then a boatload of second round picks. So with those second round picks, what do you think?
I think uh, I think I'm hammering running back. I hammer the strength of this draft, um, and that's where I'm hammering. Especially in the late second, that's where you're going to get a lot of our previous Devy Player of the Weeks.
Hmm.
You just saw Devin Neal have 4 touchdowns yesterday. Um, you can get a
Yeah.
Kyle Monangai in the third round.
Mhm.
That's where I'm hammering. I'm hammering the strength of this draft, and I'm just bringing in every running back that I can get my hands on.
Okay. Yes, sir. That's basically my plan with this one. No, I like I said, I started, and this goes back to I think what episode 3 we were talking about. You have to be realistic with yourself. You have to know when it's time to cut your losses. And I knew very deep in my season, or very early in my season, it's time to cut your losses. Get ahead before. Once again, I wouldn't have gotten that first round pick for ETN if I waited to trade him now or even mid season. I wouldn't have got that first round pick, but someone came and got him. These other picks, I started getting these seconds early because
Mhm.
I knew what I wanted to do with this team. I knew I wasn't going to be able to compete with the top 3, top 4, top 5. I was getting whooped badly. So no, it's once again you just gotta know when to cut the cord. And I'm ready for this. All see for this league particularly. I'm ready for and most people don't like to take a dive on money leagues. That's more for like free, But yeah, think ahead. Think about the future, and I know I have a very, very, very good inkling that I'm going to be competing in the top 4 next year.
And I'll say this, people don't want to rebuild in money leagues, but there's no money in the middle. So sometimes that's what you have to do to build a monster. The one last thing, bit of advice I would say
Mhm.
is I would maybe look to trade that 1.2. If you can find somebody that's just in love with Tet,
Mhm.
um, you can probably package him in maybe like a DJ Moore or another pick or two, and you may be able to upgrade to one of the truly elite guys like a Justin Jefferson.
You
Uh,
know how people love to hate on Chase, and now I'll go buy me a Chase now. Don't tell me now. Don't tell me now. I'll go
it's
buy
gonna
me
be
a
a hard
Chase.
offseason to get Chase considering he's number one. So um, you know people may be down on a Justin Jefferson. His numbers are not quite where they've been in the past,
Would
and they may
you?
not
Ooh,
totally trust JJ McCarthy coming into next year.
I thought that thought popped in my head before we move on to our next topic. Would you trade that 102 for Malik Neighbors?
Yeah, yeah. Give
No.
me neighbors all day, straight
No.
up. Yeah, please. You're getting a quarterback upgrade. There's no way they can't upgrade. I mean, they can bring in anybody, and it would be an upgrade from where they've been at this year.
Marvin Harrison Jr. for the 102.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Give me Harrison. I mean, Harrison's done it. I mean, I like Tet, but I think Marvin Harrison's a much better prospect, and he's already shown it in the NFL.
Garrett Wilson for the 102.
Hmm. that's when you get into some gray area.
Mm.
I really love Garrett Wilson. He does have some question marks with who's going to be his quarterback. I'd probably take Garrett Wilson.
But it made you think. You'll have to really just ponder on that one. That one.
Garrett Wilson is a guy that's so talented, but he's been kind of stuck in with the Jets. So hopefully they get somebody that'll be more willing to throw the ball, and maybe we'll see it when Tyrod Taylor gets in. Hopefully,
Yeah, I gotta start securing me some Tyrod shares. You know, some T Rod because
I
it
got
sounded
some.
like no. You got. I know. Yeah, you've been the main ones talking about go get you some Tyrod Taylor because they're going to be shutting down A Rod very soon, as I hear.
Did you see the report earlier? Basically, the report goes. Um, Aaron Rodgers won't even get tested for his various injuries because he wants to keep starting.
No, I did
Like
not see
no one
that.
even knows how injured he is.
Oh, and see, that sounds like some Aaron Rodgers shit. That's that sounds like
Yeah,
some Aaron Rodgers BS.
weird.
Yeah, but we look like we got 5 minutes left before we got to cut out. So
Ooh,
you know what we bring into y'all every week, every Sunday, man. It's that Debbie player of the week, and you know we've been on the RB wave because it's just an RB draft, and we bring in one of our favorites, Omarion Hampton from North Carolina, running back. Tell me what you like about this man. I got a few notes on my end, but let me know what you like. What you like about our
okay.
boy.
I was watching some video, and what I do like is he has a prototypical size.
Mhm.
That's the first thing that stands out. Um, Great contact balance. He's just hard to bring down. I've seen two and three people fail to bring him down. Um, uh, he's a workhorse back. He's been a workhorse back um, in college.
You know,
Uh, he's he's an underrated pass protector, and he has nice hands. And the other thing that I've seen on his tape is he is always falling forward, so he has a great forward lean.
Mhm.
Some of the downsides that I saw, these are the things you won't see in a highlight package, is I see that sometimes he lacks patience. A lot of times I'll see him just ram it right into the back of his offensive lineman and just kind of bounce off. He's a one cut guy, so he doesn't have a ton of wiggle. Um, uh, but he doesn't have the top end explosion, but
yeah.
he can scoot.
Hmm.
So I think he's a really good back, and he has some very nice highlights.
No, they say so. A good number of your notes kind of match mine as well. So yes, I do have him at 6 foot 220. Good contact. Well, good build. I like that. Good solid no build. 21 years old, and this year alone in 2024, he has 259 carries, 1,475 yards, 14 touchdowns, and 5.7 yards per carry. And if we see here, he's literally going to jump, boom, keep his contact. That's like, I want you, when he and Rocco sent me this clip, I kept rewatching it because one, the ball is just to jump over the line, catch yourself, not get knocked off knocked off balance, and drive into the end zone is crazy. All right.
I
Like I
mean, he jumped over half the team, and
I'm
he
saying,
dragged the other half into the end zone.
and to go on
Another
top
angle.
of being able to do this, he has 34 catches on the year, 295 yards, one TD. So not only can he run the ball like this, he catches the ball frequently as well, and I love that about him. In 2020, he basically having the same year he had last year with 253 carries, 1,504 yards, 15 tutties, and 5.9 yards per carry to go along with 29 catches, 222 yards, and
Gives the
one
Hamptons.
touchdown.
Big hole
Like,
up the
look at
middle.
this
Still on.
man. People compare him to Deuce McAllister, but who I see when I watch him is a little bit of DeMarco Murray. He has a lot of DeMarco Murray to his game, where he's explosive, and you can see that on tape. He has a really good initial burst, and then he, like you referenced earlier, he has that workhorse type of ability to him. These are his last recent games: 11 rushes, 53 yards against Boston College just yesterday. The game before that, 35 rushes, 244 yards, one touchdown against Wake Forest. 32 rushes, 172 yards, four touchdowns against Florida State. And then he had 26 rushes, 105 yards, and two touchdowns against Virginia. Man, can you just give him the ball and he gonna keep going and bouncing, and you can give him that ball. He can take that workload with that type of frame. The negatives that I do have on, not a few, but what I do see sometimes is he can be caught running upright, which can get him into trouble sometimes and taking unnecessary hits. And then he's an okay pass protector. I think we're seeing a lot of guys coming out of college, a lot of these young guys where pass pro is not their best attribute, and it's something that they do need to work on when they do get into the pros. But I definitely see a Marion Hampton being selected anywhere in that mid first round to late first round. I think he's a mid first round guy at this point, actually, depending on where he goes. But where do you think he goes in the 2005 rookie draft, Rocco?
I think he's going to go in a second. Running backs are just a little bit devalued. I think he goes in the early. I think he goes in the early second. I mean, let's be
Ooh,
honest.
okay, maybe
Even
we need to
Taylor,
clarify. Maybe we need to clarify a little bit because I think his value goes up and down depending on what league. So Superflex, where you think he goes?
oh, okay, my bad. I thought you were talking about the NFL draft.
Yeah, yeah.
I think he can bounce anywhere from the 1-3 to the 1-8. I think he's going to definitely be a high to mid first round pick. Um, and these things we always know a lot depends on landing spot. Um, who his competition is, where he lands, and where he goes in the NFL draft, because the NFL is going to tell us what they really think of him.
Do you think in rookie drafts he's the second running back behind Genty to come off the board? Could you see that?
I think, I think
Could you give an argument for a Hampton to be that second running back to come off the board?
there's a number of guys I can make an argument with. I think that's the thing about this draft is after Genty, it's like almost like a choose your flavor, because there's a lot of guys that people like. I mean, you got Caleb Johnson, you got Trevion Henderson. I mean,
Yeah.
there's just a ton of guys. Right now, I would say he's probably my RB2, but a lot can change from now until the draft.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. For someone in leagues that I'm already started to rebuild way before people started to rebuild. I like to get out ahead in front of people because the trades start to dry up a little bit. If you're gonna go for a rebuild, be the first one to go for it. God damn it, and try to get those best deals that you can. But that was our Devi Player of the Week, Omarion Hampton. He's one of them ones. He's one of them dudes, and he's definitely gonna be on one of my teams. If he comes with Dallas Cowboy, he would definitely be on one of my
He
teams.
might he might be at a 1.2 if he goes to Dallas, huh?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I would not be mad at that. But once again, thank you all for tuning in this Sunday. We have to get the hell out of here and set these lineups and get ready for the week. But like we said before, thank you for the support. Thank you all for tuning in. We're gonna be, chopping. We're getting I feel like we're starting to get the hang of it. We're gonna start get clipping some shorts from these, so to you know cut up some of the content and make it more digestible for the ones who can't tune in for the whole 45. Look at the whole
Of
45
course.
minute video. So thank you all, Rocco, my boy. Thank you for always
Please,
joining.
please like, share, and subscribe. It helps us immensely, and it gives us motivation to put out more and more content.
Yes, sir. Well, once again, thank you all. Thank you, Rocco. We did it again. Tap
Yeah.
in back with us next Wednesday.